This is D-Lo Flow TV. I'm a vlogger slash entertainer, and you're watching Jammin' Music Man. Don't forget to subscribe.
What's up, guys? It's me, Jammin' Music Man, and welcome to my special new video. And in this video, you guys are in for a scare, because in this video, I'm going to show you guys what horror DVDs I've picked up in the past few weeks. And with it being October, that can only mean one thing: the Halloween season is upon us. So, these DVDs I'm going to show you, I highly recommend if you're a horror fan. So, enough of the talk. Let's see what I got. Alright, you guys, this first DVD right here comes from the world of Stephen King, and it's one of my all-time favorite horror films. I really do mean that. And the DVD is Creepshow 2. Oh man, I remember watching this film many times back in the day. I remember watching it on like a Saturday afternoon and just loving it. And I do like the first Creepshow, but I always like Creepshow 2 just a little bit more. And of course, Stephen King and George Romero, I believe, helped produce the first one and the second one. I've never seen Creepshow 3, by the way. I've only seen the first two. But in Creepshow 2, you get three tales. The first tale called Old Wooden Chief. Basically, these group of, like, you know, young rebels. They end up killing this guy and his wife. They run like this antique store, and you know, these group of young rebels, they end up killing them. And of course, the old wooden chief that stands in front of the store comes to life, and of course he seeks revenge for the owners. I always like that little story. But the second one, I believe it's called The Raft. It's about like these you know, group of young people. They're wanting to go spend a day at the lake, and they swim out the lake and they find this raft. And of course, once they find this raft, there's like this black ooze in the lake, and of course they start getting ate up one by this black ooze. I always liked that one. That was my favorite one. But the last one, called The Hitchhiker, basically it's about this lady. She ends up hitting this hitchhiker, and she ends up killing him. So she thinks, but it's like every you know, spot in the road, this hitchhiker always ends up catching up with her and trying to kill her. But that's all the tales you get in Creepshow 2. I highly recommend picking it up if you're a fan of like horror tales, like Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Hood. You would love Creepshow 2. But I picked this up for $5 at my local Dollar General. So for any of you guys out there who like going to Dollar General to find movies, hey, go see if you can find Creepshow 2. Alright, you guys, this next film right here stars the Scream Queen legend herself, Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's one of my favorite horror films she did after Halloween. And of course, that horror film I'm talking about is Prom Night, the original Prom Night. This film came out in 1980, so it was like 2 years after the original Halloween. And during this time, Jamie Lee Curtis was known as the Scream Queen. Of course, you know, after Halloween, she did The Fog, Terror Train, Halloween 2. But this film came out in 1980, and this was right around the time the slasher genre was really starting to go. 1980, that was the year like Friday the 13th, the original, came out during that time. And you know, I would have to say this is one of Jamie Lee's best, other than Halloween. But basically the plot of the film is, it starts off with these group of kids. They go to like this abandoned like school, and they push one of the kids out. And then it flash forwards to like years later when these kids are in high school, and the kids are starting to get killed off. And you know, people are trying to figure out who's this killer. You know, of course, he's trying to plot his revenge on, of course, Prom Night. But it's a fun 80s slasher film. I would have to say maybe not as good as Halloween, but it's definitely a good film to watch. Of course, you get legendary actor Leslie Nielsen. He's in this film, and he plays kind of like a bad principal, you know, because usually Leslie Nielsen, you would see him in like more comedic roles, but in this role, in this film, he's playing kind of like a really bad principal. So it's cool to see him in this film. But if you haven't seen the original Prom Night, you got to check it out. I found this in the 374 DVD bin at my local Walmart. So go check out your local Walmart if you want to find this horror classic right here. And I never did see the 2008 Prom Night remake. I heard it wasn't any good. But if you want to watch the original Prom Night, this is the one you got to watch. But guys, let's see what else I got in my horror DVD pickup. Alright, you guys, this next film I got right here, I picked up at my local Dollar General for like $5, and it's a sequel to one of my favorite horror science fiction films, and it's The Fly 2. If you haven't seen this, you know, I highly recommend checking it out. Not as good as The Fly from 1986 with Jeff Goldblum, but if you didn't know, The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, it was actually a remake from a 1950s horror science fiction film. But in The Fly 2, if you remember from the original Fly, Jeff Goldblum had Gina Davis pregnant, and Eric Stoltz is his son. And if you don't know who Eric Stoltz is, he's been in movies like Some Kind of Wonderful, Pulp Fiction, and he was originally intended to be Marty McFly, Back to the Future. But in this film, Eric Stoltz, you know, he's Jeff Goldblum's son, and he's living in like this facility, and he's like growing at like this rapid rate. Like when he's 5 years old, he's like a full-grown 20-year-old adult male, and he's like really super smart. And you know, they're letting him be like a scientist, and that's when he discovers his father's teleportation unit, and you know, basically he ends up turning into a fly. What else can I explain with that? But it's a fun film. Like I said, maybe not as good as The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, but a good film nonetheless, and I highly recommend checking it out. You know, the special features you get with this disc, all you pretty much get is like commentary by the director, an alternate ending, and some deleted scenes. But like I said, I found this at Dollar General for like $5. And if you love films like this, I highly recommend checking them out. That's The Fly 2. Alright, you guys, these final two DVDs right here, without a doubt, are horror classics. And one of them I haven't actually opened, but I've seen before. But the first one right here, way before Wes Craven did A Nightmare on Elm Street and The Hills Have Eyes, he did The Last House on the Left. And I would categorize this film as more of like a revenge horror film. You know, there's no like, you know, gruesome, grotesque monsters like Freddy Krueger or anything like that in this film. Basically what goes on in this film could really happen in real life, but the plot of the film is about these group of teenage girls. They're going to a rock concert, and that's when they run into like these convicts, and there's all these type of like twists and turns, and the parents are trying to seek revenge. You know, it's kind of bloody and gruesome. You know, this film came out in like 1972, and you know, horror films during that time were really kind of dead. But when this film came out, it shocked a lot of people, and if you haven't seen this film, you know, you will definitely be shocked by what goes on in this film. But I highly recommend checking it out. I got this at Dollar General for $5. Like I said, go to your local Dollar General if you want to find some horror classics. But like I said, I highly recommend checking it out. And of course, this is one of Wes Craven's best horror films. And the final one I haven't opened, and it's a remake, and it is Dawn of the Dead. Oh man, this is a classic, but I would have to say my favorite is the original Dawn of the Dead. But this one is pretty good, and I love zombie films. Basically, the plot of the film pretty much kind of similar to the original. I know Ving Rhames is in here. The dad from Modern Family's in here. He's kind of a jerk in this film. But, you know, great remake. And back in like the early 2000s, like 2003, they were remaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 04, Dawn of the Dead was coming out. And this was one of the better horror remakes of the, you know, 2000s. And like I said, I picked this up for $5.99. Looking forward to checking it out. I haven't seen it in many years. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will leave me a comment. Let me know what horror DVDs you've been watching here lately. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And guys, I'm Jammin' Music Man. The Halloween season is upon us. And I hope you guys keep coming back. And I will see you guys next time.